Municipal operations at the General Motors plant in Oshawa, Ontario are now winding down. The last vehicle will roll off the line this week, and it's set to become a parts manufacturing operation and a test track for advanced technology vehicles. Now, Unifor represents GM workers. Its national president is Jerry Diaz, and he says the end of car production in Oshawa is devastating, especially just before Christmas.
This is a tough week. This is a tough week for our members that work for General Motors. It's a tough week for our members that work for the part suppliers. It's a tough week for non-union workers in Oshawa, and it's an incredibly tough week for the community of Oshawa. This week is the week we've been trying to avoid for years. We saw the early signs in early 2016 when General Motors refused to rebid GM Place, and it is now called the Tribute Community Center. We went into 2016 negotiations, bargained what we believed to be a solution, yet here we are this week facing the ceasing of manufacturing.
And again, that was Unifor National President Jerry Diaz speaking at the GM Oshawa plant in Ontario. Now, at least 2,000 employees will be out of work by the end of this week. Our business reporter Scott Peterson brings us the details.
The entire town of Oshawa, you could argue, has been built around automobile production. So the loss of this plant, as far as manufacturing car from start to end, is going to be sorely missed by this community. So if we take a look at the numbers, this is what we knew was coming, and we are expecting that last car fully assembled to come off the assembly line maybe today, maybe perhaps as early as Wednesday. But 2,300 workers, union jobs, are going to be out of work. 1,300 workers are eligible for some sort of retirement package by General Motors, and 300 are expected to remain at the future plant. GM has a 10-year agreement with the federal government saying that GM will manufacture stamping plants. And so this is quarter panels, trucks, doors, hoods, that sort of thing. And also there's going to be a test track for autonomous vehicles. It's 55-acre property, and it's a huge warehouse. So some very sad news, not just for the state of the auto industry, but in particular for Oshawa. And this goes back to the McLaughlin automobile plant. And McLaughlin's, they used to manufacture horse and buggies. And so really you could say the transportation and the internal combustion engine really is what Oshawa was built around.
Yeah, and that does allude to my next question, though, because, obviously Oshawa and GM has been synonymous for generations now. So what does this mean for the broader community to lose this assembly line? Yeah,
this is going to be, probably be brought up at the finance minister's meeting today. It is so intricately interwoven that it's hard to say the ripple effect. 15,000 jobs are involved with parts and supplying that plant and automobile parts. And when you take the optics even more broadly, in Canada, 125,000 jobs are dependent on the auto industry in general. That could be selling, manufacturing, repairs, that sort of thing. So this is a big, important part of Ontario, as big as oil is in Alberta. So there's going to be lots of interest and fodder for this to be front and center at the minister's meeting.
Okay, Scott, thank you for that.
Thanks, Michael.